kwa live ingine ya Sunday. Hopefully mnanisikia. I hope mnanisikia. So kama unanisikia, comment tuseme ninasikika. Ndio nisiendelee tu kubonga na hakuna kitu nasema. Au mnisikii? Poleni, first of all, nimechelewa. Live ilikuwa inafaa kuanza 9, but due to unavoidable circumstances ndio tunaanza saa hii. Wacha ni set camera vizuri. Nichukue optimum position. Hapo sawa. Hopefully voice yangu iko audible enough. Naona mic ikiwa mbali kiasi, but let me just set it up kiasi. Yeah. Now, let's look at tubonge story ya urbanization, modernity, and how imechangia kwa moral decay of the society. Ukiingia, asante sana. Naona kuna mse mmoja ametujoin. Ukiingia una comment, unasema unanisikizia kutoka area gani? Right? Unanisikiza from which area? Na pia tukumbuke tutakuwa pia tuna respond kwa issues zenye zinarizwa kwa chat. So don't be afraid of asking a question, seeking clarification. Hata ukiingia late, usikia something that you need to know more about. Kama I am knowledgeable in that area, tutabonga. Kama nitakuwa pia maybe siko na the correct information, tutashare, we will talk, because hii inafaa kuwa an interactive session. So this is the second Sunday live chat, Unscripted. Karibuni. Let's get into this. Urbanization. So urbanization ilikuwa ni process ya kuset up townships ama towns, and then kulikuwa na rural urban migration. Sawa? So townships kulikuwa na jobs. So this was something which ilikuwa ina happen hata before colonization. Wakati trade ilianza kushika, Arabs wakaanza kukuja kutrade na sisi, we were also trading amongst ourselves. So kulikuwa na like a certain marketplace where trade would take place. Na hizo ndio zile marketplaces zenye zili expand, zika turn into towns. Alafu ikakuwa accelerated time yenye white man alikuja. Okay, when the colonizers came. So slavery ili play a very big role, because Arabs walikuwa wanakuja kwa coast zetu, and apart from trading spices na hizo vitu zingine na other foods, they would also buy slaves. So the coastal strip in my understanding ilikuwa like the first place to be urbanized. Karibu sana Kolo. The first place kukua urbanized ilikuwa the coastal strip kwa sababu ya trade and also trade in slaves. So ukiangalia pia the coastal strip, hapo ndio mahali walianza kukeep slaves like in large numbers. Sisemi ati interior kukuwa na slavery, but in the interior ya Africa, Kenya specifically, slavery haikuwa a big thing. Okay, kama tulikuwa na beef na another community, will go fight it out, the men will be killed, the women will be taken. But certainly they are being taken to be slaves. They are just being taken to go there and be wives to the victors and the kids. So kitambo, women and children to a large extent walikuwa protected from the ravages of war. So the only thing that they would have to worry about is either their husband not coming back because amekufa, or they, that is the women and children, being taken by the victors. So tuseme, like the Kikuyu and the Maasai, we used to fight a lot. So the Maasai will come. If they won that battle, they would take the women and kids. And if the Kikuyus would raid their manyatas or their homesteads, wherever, and if the Kikuyus would win, then they will take not only the cattle, but also the wives or the women and the kids from whatever village they won. So there were no like large-scale killing of women and children. That especially for the Kikuyu community, that was something which would get you cast or even being excommunicated from the community because you killed a woman and child. It did not matter from whichever tribe they were from. It was a woman and a child because we believed that women and children were something precious. And of course, the white man alikuja akajaribu kuconfuse hizo vitu zote juu hakuwa ana understand where or why we did what we did. Like even currently, ukiangalia the Kalenjin or the Nandi, most of them, they take their women as children, or they would cluster them as children. Not because of disrespect, but it is because children need protection. Children need guidance. Children need men and like grown-ups for survival. Okay, so that classification of women as children, probably, I if you have different information, utashare. That will be something which will protect them in case they are fighting with, or they were fighting because the Nandis and the Luos were now, because of the proximity, ndo walikuwa like hiyo side walikuwa very big enemies. So if the Nandi will come and attack the Luo, because women to them are children and children are things to be protected, then they will not come and target women. The men, we were game like wewe utauliwa, but your wife and your child, at least you know that they will be protected, right? So when urban centers started springing up, and mesema the coastal region was like the first place urban centers zilianza kukua because of trade, because the people who are coming to trade needed somewhere to stay, and of course food nini, so an urban kind of setting ikaanza kukua. And colonizers when walikuja, of course through the church, where the church was situated, an urban center would sprout around it. Kwa sababu, you know, they came, now the missionaries, and they came and they will convince the local people that their kids need to go to school and whatever. So they set up schools. And now the local people, not even that, even children from far areas will come to that missionary station for learning. So they would live there. And because of your influx ya kids and also people coming to worship and everything, somehow urban centers zikaanza ku grow. Because for example, if you're coming all the way from the modern day Tala, and maybe the nearest missionary station iko somewhere in Rongai, hakukuwa na gari, so you had to walk. So when you got to Rongai and you did what you needed to do hapo kwa station ya missionaries, then you needed somewhere to rest and whatever. And because sometimes a clash of culture because of the people around, and also because your missionary station haingeweza ku accommodate sometimes all these people. Okay, so that's how urban centers lianza ku grow. Then came the white man. Of course, the white man they established like now towns. And white man, because alikuwa na need services or certain jobs to be done, cleaning, farming, whatever, and they would hire people from all over Kenya. So they needed some place where these people could live. Okay, mahali wao watu watalala, because hawezi lala kwa compound. You know, the white man your time alikuwa na this thing of separation between the blacks and the whites. So hawangelala kwa the same compound. They had to kulala huko nje at the homestead at the white man. So that's how also urban centers zinaanza spring up. Just check today. If I come to a place and I set up a manufacturing plant and I want employees, people will come from all over, even outside the country, right? So they need somewhere to stay because maybe hawana watu wao. That's why you see when a manufacturing plant or an industry inakuwa set up, somehow around your place, hata iende iekwe mahali kwa bush, eventually 1 month, 2 months, 3 months down the line ina grow. Now tumeshamaliza na story ya urbanization. Now let's go to our cultural setup venye ilikuwa kitambo. Homesteads were very important. A man surrounded by his wives, and then once the kids got to be of age, when they got married, they would be given land. So now he homestead ina grow, because another homestead itawekwa of my son, itawekwa bali nitamgawia shamba, then another son atawekewa. So now ina grow mpaka inakuwa clan. So in an area uta realize that somehow a whole village will be of the same clan, right? So kulikuwa na hiyo tight family bonding, because your grandmother is here, your father is here, your mothers, because there were many. A lot of kids kitambo wange point waseme ndio mama aliniza. I'm sure even women at some point walikuwa confused, like who exactly did I give birth to hapa? Because if you are like three wives and all of you have 10 kids each, those are 30 kids. And kitambo it was not like mama yako ndiye atakunyonyesha, unanyonya kwa the nearest mother, because all of them will be akimaliza kunyonyesha, kama wakati ananyonyesha ule mwingine pia ananyonyesha. So when other people are huko kwa field wakiwork na wewe ndio umebaki ukitake care kids, unanyonyesha wote. So it got confusing, and the man will never like tell these are my kids. Ungeuliza mwanaume your time angekupointia to his kids, he will just say kids who are in my homestead. The sub kitambo, when it is feeding time, you feed everybody in the homestead, all children. Like kids didn't even need to be kukua konde wakule ama walale mahali gize imekupatia, because kids will go like for example Kikuyu, they will go kuchunga ng'ombe and whatever, and then in the evening when they came wakati wanaleta ng'ombe, okay, sometimes they will be invited for, you know, like wakati wameleta the last cows, they might be invited for food, and then after wamekula, then you know ilikuwa ni time ya, you know, mothers to talk to their kids, or the nyanye will be there telling them stories and stuff. Giza imeshafika, and then kitambo kulikuwa na wild animals, so the kids will just sleep, then they will wake up, and parents were not so worried about ya watoi wao, because they knew mali giza itawapatia hiyo homestead ndio watalala and they will eat. Okay, so now there was that close, you are so close knit because you are amongst family, and that meant all of us were accountable to each other, because your nyanya is not far, your kuka is not far. If you mess, if he is needed to come in and take care of business, he's not mbali, ataenda aletwe. And then you'll not want also, like what I said last Sunday, we were, as a people, we were so proud, and we wanted to make our family, our clan, our community proud. So we'll not want to do something which will tarnish the name ya clan yenu ama familia yenu. So that's why people, hata wakati una travel, you had to have some form of decorum, because the first thing, like if you are invited to a homestead, you had to introduce yourself. I am so and so, son of so and so, from such and such age group or age set, of such and such a clan. So they knew your name, the name of your father, your age group or age set, and your clan. That's the first thing. Okay. So you going out there and misbehaving, people knew where you're coming from. People will know your father because those people will trade. And there is a way that just people knew one another. Okay. So when you're out there, you are an ambassador of your clan and your community. Now let's go to urban centers. Urban centers, everybody is there. Nobody knows anyone. Okay. Like for example, tuangalia hapa Nairobi. Do you even know your neighbor? Do you even know where they come from? Do you even know their family? Have you even visited their family? So urban centers zilikuja zika to disassociate from our roots. That is our family, our clan. And so when we got disassociated, the new accountability kapotea. True. Story of tribalism. Tribalism was tricky. Okay. Because like unless you are an enemy of my community, but then kulikuwa na it was let me just use the word complicated, because messengers were protected, because a Maasai messenger maybe will be sent and they needed to pass through Kikuyu lands. And remember, the Maasai and the Kikuyu, maybe they have friction kwa sababu they are opposing communities zinaishi pamoja, so of course lazima wachangamkiane. But this messenger needs to pass through hapa because kuna message anafaa kupeleka mahali. So there was some sort of an understanding. And also traders, because the Kikuyus and the Maasai used to trade. The Nandi and the Luo used to trade. But they were also, in terms of, if you look at communities which had enemies, like they were enemies at that community level. Okay, like Anandi will not like just come and settle kwa Wajaka. That was a no-no. A Kikuyu not just go and settle kwa, like just take his homestead kwa Maasai. Okay, but there was some sort of an understanding in terms of trade, in terms of protections and immunities to women and children and messengers, because you never know. Hiyo message anabeba, maybe there is a plague yenye inaua wanyama na wameiona kwao, and they need to take this message to another settlement of the Maasai, but then the shortest route ni hapa kwa Kikuyu. Okay, so there was a system which I am not very sure of, but I'm going to do a bit of investigation, a system of immunity, because if hiyo ugonjwa iko kwa Maasai, somehow inaweza ikakuwa ita travel ifike kwa Wasape. So there was value in getting this information, and messengers were protected. Okay. So there was also a lot of diversity in terms of tribe, especially initially kwa the urban centers. Okay, because I come from wherever I come from, I speak a certain language. You come from wherever you come from, you speak a certain language. I will be curious. Because remember, unless you are like long distance traders like the Kamba, the Kikuyu were just dealing with the Kambas and the Maasai to a large extent. Somebody loved Ajaiskia Kijaluo. So that's something new to the ear. So they would want to know and learn. And then Kiswahili came before English, because of the Arabs and the Swahili, cause of trade. So Arabs will bring stuff, then wanapatia Waswahili pale, then Waswahili wanaingia interior na hizo stuff kuja kutafuta grains, kutafuta some spices, kutafuta vitu to take back and sell to the Arabs. So that's how Kiswahili ilikuja before Kizungu. So even wakati the white man alikuja, alipata many communities know some form of Swahili or a level of Swahili, because that's what was being used to trade. Okay, that's the language of trade. So you go there kwa urban centers, mimi najua Kiswahili, unajua Kiswahili, but then you're speaking a different ethnic language. And that will be exciting, and I want to learn, I want to know, because human beings are curious by nature. Okay, and everybody is proud of their tribe. Like right now is when people bring issue of tribalism. Okay, like if niko kwa barabara and somebody anabonga Kijaka, I feel like ananiumiza because anabonga Kijaka, but yeye kwa world yake, like that is his language, that is his identity. Why am I being offended because somebody is proud of his language? And if you ask Kenyans especially, watakwambia Wajaka na Wakikuyu ndio, like you don't even need to be told. Okay, utaona tu Mkikuyu anafikiria kila mtu ni Mkikuyu, na Mjaka anafikiria kila mtu ni Mjaka. Mtu atakusimamisha tuanze kuongelesha Kijaka, yeye ana trust wewe unajua hiyo language. Msapere atakusimamisha anze kubonga Kisapere. But now we get offended rather than just accepting that, okay, I am not that language that you unaongea, niongeleshe Kiswahili. But you see somebody going out of their way to make a big deal of this thing. But most of those people is because they warranty, guarantee. Because yeah, of course, they will wako proud of their language, and they don't need to offend. They don't need to, like, they are not intentionally out there to offend. They just, that's the language they speak. And instead of somebody saying, oh, umsana framini, wow, like, so I could pass for your people. But people get offended. Instead of saying, okay, that's an interesting language. Why can't I like learn a little bit of it, and then a little bit of this one, and then a little bit of that one, so that when they talk, then we can communicate. Like if you go to the cows and you can hear what they're saying because you understand, even if you can't speak. And then of course when they talk to you, una respond na Kiswahili, you are communicating, because you'll find other people don't even know Kiswahili or English. That's the language they know how to speak. And if they are speaking with you, and then you go offended. So for example, kama kwa government office, utafika huko mtu ajui Kiswahili, so what do you do? And huyo mtu wako na right kupata service, but people just rush to be offended instead of saying, hi, ngoja kidogo, you go bring somebody who speaks that language, and then they communicate. Solved. Anyway, so now hiyo disassociation with our clan, with our family, ndio ilileta story ya moral decay. Because remember, morality inakuwa enforced by belief system na culture ya community. Morality inakuwa enforced because the community is the one that decides what is moral and what is not, because of their culture. And people just sit down, especially sisi watu wa siku hizi tunakaga tunasema, hiyo culture imepitwa na wakati. Nani alikuambia? Who made you an arbiter of what is relevant and what is not? Hiyo ni hata hiyo word ya Kiswahili imepotea. Culture na Kiswahili ni nini? Mtu anisaidie. Mila. Hiyo mila imepitwa na wakati. Hiyo mila imepitwa na wakati. So for example now, let's talk about story kama ya inheritance of wives. If you ask our watu wanajiita intellectuals, they will pretend they know why that happened, because they were told by some person who was not of that culture, or because that culture ilikuwa ina conflict na what they believed in, and that's why they will demonize it. Okay, wife inheritance. How can you inherit somebody's wife? Who does that? I mean, that is very gross. Sijui nini. But you're not of that culture. You don't understand the utility of that. Listen, education one-on-one. Last Sunday, nilisema men, ungefikisha 30 years, maybe wewe ulikuwa ni medicine person, ama ulikuwa mse waku, those people who will be, for lack of a better word, scribes, people who are learning, they learn the culture and the law of the community, and they are there to pass it. So those people will not go to war because their mind, their head imebeba ni library ya our way of life. Okay, and they will know. Those are the people who will write the legends, the songs, about the heroism of the son of so and so, and the son of so and so, and the son of so and so, because he went to war and he did not come back. So and so died because he was protecting our community. That's why he's a hero. We need to make songs and poems and hizo vitu zote. Okay, so now you come and say wife inheritance is wrong, but remember that men will die early. Men will, like kitambo, by 13, 14 years, ulikuwa married. You're starting a family. Okay? Maybe by 18, 19, umeenda wao umekufa. Umewacha bibi na watoto. So what happens to them? What happens to them? Remember, kids need to be raised they need a father in the house. Okay? So they will be taken. And then you cannot just say the society will take care of all these widows and all these orphans. Somebody had to take that responsibility. I read jana kwa a book called Prehistoric People. Prehistoric People, the Kikuyu, that sons were allowed to inherit their mothers, or the wives of their father. But there was a rule that a son cannot inherit first, second, or third wife of his father. So those were his mothers. Okay, those were his mothers. So he will not inherit. But from the fourth kuteremka, he can take them as wives. But then he's also obligated to take care of his father's wives, the first, second, and third. So there was a system, because these people were dying left, right, and center. So when you come and say wife inheritance is wrong without understanding why it was there, is it relevant today? Some cases, yes. In some cases, yes. Because you see, we pretend that to shafika modernity, that nothing that the past used to do makes sense. And that's why you are seeing a lot of widows struggling, really struggling out here, suffering. And I'm not saying wale wenye wamenyang'anywa mali ya bwana yako uko nayo, but you're still struggling. Because listen, raising kids is hard. You need help. But then you also need to go, and earn for these kids. But then you also need somebody to take care of these kids when you're out there earning. So what happens? You see, a lot of widows, because of the need, also tukumbuke, they are human beings. Wako na needs za kimwili. Wanaenda huko kidogo kidogo, third child, fourth child. She's not even married. But it would have been easy if she sat down with her family, that is the husband's family, and they came up with a system. You know what? Your husband is gone, and it is sad. So what do you want us to do? We don't want you to suffer, because you are our responsibility, because your people gave you to us to take care of you. So these are what we recommend. We have our son. Remember, sons were not only biological. The Kikuyu, the brothers of my father are are my father. So all their sons are my brothers. So it doesn't have to be like you are married directly to brother ya bwana yako, like biological brother, because hata mtoto ya uncle yangu or mtoto wa bro ya budangu pia ni brother yangu. Okay, and then that will be sorted out. The woman will not be having issues with the family kwa sababu wamegeuza homestead ya mtoto wetu into a brothel. I'm not saying that's what widows do, but some of them do that. Okay, and that's how some of them get into trouble with their family, wanachujwa. And then huku nje people are like, oh, angalia huyo amenyang'anywa, familia imemfukuza sijui nini, but ni misbehavior yake inafanya achujwe because of the way she's carrying herself. Because nimesema, you know, when you are living na your people, they have an expectation of you. So when you start doing weird things, like we see different men coming out of your house every other day, how does that look to kwetu sisi? Like how inatupaint aje? Okay, so now to me disassociate from all that. So now you have nobody who can challenge you, or somebody you are accountable to. And that's where now drama zikaanza. When the drama zilianzia, because now mimi niko Nairobi, sistangu pia sistangu wako Mombasa, alimarika Mombasa, ameenda huko, ameolewa, amepata watoto. Mimi niko Nairobi, we don't meet. Maybe tulikosana because of something very stupid, because tunakosanaga vitu very very stupid. Familia inakosania vitu very stupid, so atuonani. And labda walikosana na wazazi because of something very stupid. Maybe wazazi wako wanataka wale na whoever alimuoa for whatever reason, so she is angry. So whatever kuna issue home hakuji, so hatujui watoto wake, hatumjui bwana yake, ama tulimjua tu basi tushamsahau. Mimi nimezaa, yeye amezaa. My son grows up, anapata job Mombasa. Sister yangu pia kwa Mombasa na ako na mtoto dem, wanapatana huko, ama wanapatana campus college, wanapendana kwa sababu there is something about family that just pulls. Wanapatana, anawekana maball, wanakuja sasa. Son wangu anakuja na niambia, nilishapata bibi na tumeshapata mtoto, na mwambia my son, abu mlete tumjue, I want to see my grandchildren. Niso wangu ni anaambia sister yangu ashapata bwana na ashapata mtoto, amesema aende awaone. So when anakuja, because you know amechukua jina ya babake, because that's what happens. Like my son takes my name, my daughter takes my name, so I sijui, atasema tu mimi naitwa fulani fulani kwa fulani. So it's like, pleased to meet you. So now tuna organize familia zipatane, tujue how this thing like our kids wameshapata watoto, we need to come together to show support. And then I see my sister, washapata mtoto mmoja, so wako kwa mtoto wa pili. What do we do in that situation? What do we do? Nataka tu mnijibu, andika kwa comment. What would you do if your son unknowingly marries his sister? Ule ni sizi yake. Wameoana, wako kwa the second child. What happens? Because we think that hii unity, history ya watu wakae pamoja, that familia ni wasoro, familia wanakuwa watiaji, hawaheshimu watu, hawaheshimu boundaries. Huwezi kaa karibu na familia. Pia ukiaka familia hivi karibu na wewe, ukiaka familia karibu na wewe hivi, wanakatia. Mimi siwezi kaa karibu na familia, hata stories za familia mimi niliwacha. Wacha nishiki vyangu. You see people posting on Facebook that friends are more valuable than your blood relatives. This is the kind of nonsense that inaendelea. And then now a son has married the sister. Second kid is on the way. What do? They have been living together maybe for 5-6 years. When you come to discover that ile time sasa ya mahari, time sasa mnakaa, the sister now, because now the sister cannot go and start sijui negotiating. She will come and notify the brothers, ni aje mtoto wangu anakuja kulipiwa mahari, and it's important that you guys also come. I know tumekuwa atu ongeleshani, but it is important that you come and we celebrate together. So una show up, so unapata zina clash. Wewe unaambia sister yako hiyo siku my son is also anapeleka mahari, or tunaenda kudiscuss issues za mahari, but tutakuwa neighborhood, tutakuwa huko Mombasa. So hata maybe by jioni tukimaliza huko, we will just pass by and we can catch up, at least pia nione watoto and so tumekawiana. So you and your son mnaenda, because of course sasa simmebeba now my brothers or my bros. Sasa tunaenda so that because me I can't talk, they are going to represent me. Mnafika, ukiangalia kwa neighbor, ukichungulia ule mama anakaa familia, ule anakaa sister yangu. Hapo ndio mahali mtu uzimia. Mnaanza kusema alirogwa. Ni ujinga. So that's how urbanization like indirectly changia immorality. Because in my community, you're not supposed to marry your sister. It is immoral to marry your sister. Not even in my community, even in the modern setup side. It is immoral for you to marry your sister. But now, what do? Watoto washapatana, washapendana, kwa mtoto wa pili. So mnaingia huko kwanza, sijui ni kulia, mtaanza kulia. And then now, this is when now we start imposing things on them. Pana, mwezi ishi pamoja. Lazima muachane. Like it's too late. By then, maji ilishamwagika na kukakauka. It is too late. But then it's because somebody decided that friends are better than family. So anytime ukisikia kuna function ya familia, enda peleka watoto. I know it's expensive, but peleka watoto wajuane. Huko ndio utaenda uanze kuangalia watoto wanaangalia na design like nikawa wanajuana. And then wewe kama ni parent na unatumia third eye, unajua hapa kuna kitu inaendelea. So ikishafika huko, that's why now they won't take it further than where ilikuwa imefika. Because now they know their sisters, their brothers. Tuko hapa kwa urbanization. So mimi nimekuja urban center, nimeoa. Right? Sija follow protocol ya culture yetu ndio nioe. I just came, I found some chick, I married her, na tukaanza kuishi. Sijapeleka mahari, nothing. Ajui kwetu, sijui kwao. What is to stop me from dumping her and going and marrying somebody else? Nothing much. A lot of people are doing that. Personally, I know a person who is on the fourth wife. Now my wengine wote wako na watoto wake. Tunaoana, nikiingia kwa nyumba uniongelesha vibaya, tunakufukuza. Bibi yangu hafai kuniongelesha hivyo. Chase you with your kids or with our kids. Ndio sio ni watoto wako. Na hama, because nina rent, na hama. Naenda kuishi another plot, naoa. Nikuja nipate ameweka chakula salt, nafukuze yeye na watoto wake. Na hama, naenda naoa. So unaona single motherhood inapanda because of the way tume neglect our cultural obligations. Tume neglect our cultural obligations. That's why you see nyumba mabibi wamegeuka drum ya kupigwa. Sasa unataka zile mtu anataka, if nimekuja tu na stress zangu vita, if nimekuja tu na stress zangu vita, katambe kasonge. And then now they start saying traditionally tulikuwa tunapiga mabibi walikuwa wanapigwa na nani alikuwa anapiga mabibi traditionally? Traditionally ungeguza bibi ni like ni kama kitu umepewa yenye si yako. Okay, it is for you to take care of, but si yako, ni ya community. Sasa ulikuwa sababu bibi anasema bibi ni wa clan, si wako, but umepewa tu uzae na yeye uendeleze jina ya familia, na pia tujaze watu kwa clan. Because ulikuwa unaenda kutafuta bibi, so ulikuwa unalipa mahari ilikuwa inalipwa by your clan, your family. So ulikuwa unaenda kutafuta bibi, family ilikuwa inaenda na kutafutia bibi. So that is na pia familia ndio ilitafutia huyo dem bwana. So bwana si wake, si alienda kujitafutia. Amtunze. Kwa hapo kutunza bibi yako, kwa hapo kutunza bwana yako, uko hapo kupata naye watoto, kwa hapo ku provide a conducive environment ya living. Okay, so that's why unaona story kama za vita battery kwa nyumba zimepanda because of urbanization. Because now unaenda ukajitafutia bibi, nobody even knows you are married. The time watajua uko married ni wakati utakuona kwa news, ama wakati unapiga simu ya tuko remand, wakati unapiga masimu ni aje brother, man ni kubaya, imagine niko remand, niko na kesi kotini. That's when now they realize you are married and you've been battering your wife, amekupeleka kwa serikali. Sasa mmazana na serikali. No, wakati kwa hapo it is already too late, because now hapo hatuta discuss, hapo ni tuache the law takes its course. Ukipatikana uko guilty uende ukule maharagwe. Women are stabbing their husbands left, right and center and killing them. Last week ni 2 or 3 stories kwa gazeti, and they are stabbing their husbands over nonsense. Mwingine amestab bwana yake because alipata sijui message ama alimkataza kusoma message or something. So now we are even killing husbands and wives. Husband anadunga bibi yake kisu kwa sababu amepika ugali kidogo. Imagine the audacity, the stupidity, the utter stupidity of that statement, that I killed my wife because she served me a very small portion of ugali. I will now repeat that loudly and tell me if it makes sense. Does it make any sense? Yeah, it makes sense. So, GBV has gone up. Fathers are even sleeping with their daughters. Their blood, not stepdaughters, daughters, actual biological daughters. Because our moral compass iko so off, because tuna pretend that we are, I don't know if we are pretending or because we believe that we are not accountable to anyone. How do you sleep and even have children with your own daughters? How do women geuza their sons to be their husbands, their own sons? The one you gave birth to. And so this is something I saw ilikuwa ni kwa TikTok where but this is some white woman, because now white people are also crazy. Some white woman, I think she was doing either a dance challenge or something, and then somebody alikuwa nyuma yake, and then people, I think they begged or something or kissed, and then somebody akacomment akasema, oh, that child looks a lot like you. Then she said, yeah, he's my son, but also my husband. And then I was like, okay, if there is a God, if there is supposed to be a rapture, can we get it over with? Because now this thing is becoming ridiculous. And imagine being that immoral, but also being proud of your immorality, because we don't want to be accountable to anyone, right? We don't want to be. We can't even be accountable to ourselves. So that's all. Nona, people are behaving the way they are behaving. Men are behaving the way they are behaving. Women are behaving the way they are behaving. Children these days are also behaving the way they want to behave, because budako atakushow nini, madha yako atakushow nini, na nyinyi wote mko same WhatsApp group in terms of behavior. So ile kitu urbanization ilifanya is that ilikata hizo strings zenye tulikuwa nazo towards our community members, our family, our whatever. Ilizikata. So now we are no longer accountable to anyone. You just say, I am only accountable to myself, maybe to the state. The state now is our big family, and then the state can't be everywhere. So now we are no longer accountable. Immorality imepanda. You see a woman wearing like nguo ni kama za Boko Haram kwa nyumba yake, na akona grown up sons, na hivyo ndio anavaa kwa hiyo nyumba. In my culture, a son was not supposed to see the thighs of his mother. But now, in this community, mtu ako 50 years na ana dress ni kama ako 18, 19, 16. Na ako 60 years. Watu wataki kuzeeka. People don't want to get old. Huh? Let me just a second. Hopefully let me see if I can share this. Let me see if I can share this one. Sorry, guys have been naniambia that they are not our access. So what are some of the things I consider immoral? Because tukumbuke morality inakuwa set up na wale watu wenye wako kwa, like the society ndio ina set up like the morality, or that community ndio ina set up what is moral, what is immoral. So what do I consider as immoral for me? Number one is a man or a husband not taking care of his husband business. So I know most people will just rush to sex. That's not important. But now, taking care of your wife, making sure she feels safe. That is very important. Okay. you are not supposed to be a threat to your wife. You are not supposed to be a threat to your wife. Like, your wife should not be looking at you as a threat. But there are men out here, there are husbands out here whose wives, like, they consider their husbands as a threat because the husband is a threat. He's the one akiingia kwa nyumba, everybody just disappears. The wife cannot tell him anything, haezi ambiwa anything. He does what he wants when he wants. I mean it. Malizia hata kumaliza on the 1 hour mark. We are 51 minutes into it. So one, nimesema, you're supposed to make your wife feel safe. Your wife is not supposed to be afraid of you. Afraid in terms of fear. There is that afraid, the fear of the Lord. That one she should have. Hakuna discussion. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of the husband is the beginning of peace in the house. But that is not like fear where you are like, huyu akiingia atanipiga ama huyu ataniumiza. It's like, this is the alpha and omega in my house. What he says goes. I can talk to him. We can agree on a few things, because in Manishati, everything a man says is right. Sometimes we are wrong, but the way you communicate that we are wrong should be commensurate of our position in the house. It's like mdosi wako kwa job. You can't just go and start saying, no, hiyo hatufanyi. You can't just go and start, hata kama anakwambia some BS yenye you are like, I can't believe this guy is my boss. But the fact that ni mdosi wako, there is a way you communicate. Because if unaenda una communicate vibaya, you can go tell you are unemployed behind huko. Hizo vitu ulikuwa unasema, you can go say those things when you are unemployed. So, for the sake of you remaining employed, that's the way you communicate to your boss. Unaenda hapo kando, akishamaliza unamwambia, boss, kindly, unaweza ni explain more about hii process yenye umesema. Could you please make me understand, because ni kama sielewi vizuri. You pretend to be a fool. So wakati anaenda kupatia an explanation, ndio down the line ana realize, by the way, I am an idiot. If I am telling these guys to do this and I cannot articulate clearly, then I realize. So you let him go through that process, and then you don't even tell him that I may realize that ako wrong. You just get out of the office. Kesho mtaitwa mkutano, utasema after careful review nimeona hizo instruction niliwapea, put them on hold. I think so and so. You should come to my office at such and such a time. We need to discuss and see the best way to move forward. See, you are still employed. Okay, you are still employed. Let me see if guys. Yeah, you are still employed. So that is how you do that. Okay. So you should make your wife feel safe. Number 2, should take care of your children. Simaanishi wale watoto kwa nyumba yako, as long as ni mtoto wako, take care of your children. A man not taking care of his children is immoral. I don't care what your problem is with the wife. I don't care. None of my business. You made that child, make it work. Okay? Just make it work. You're supposed to take care of your kids. Make it work. That is for men. Number 3, you should also be a productive member of your society, your community. Lazy men are weak men. Lazy men are very vindictive men. Men who are, have you realized that wale watu wenye hawafanyagi anything ndio kuwa na mdomo sana about how things should be done? Like the people with zero idea what is supposed to be done are the people who talk a lot about how things should be done. Wando wako na, no, ungefanya hivi, just like cheki kama futa. People who are watching football seem to know more about the game than mwenye anacheza kwa field. Then you wonder, why am I not seeing you? Why are you here with me watching this guy play? Why are you not there playing? Then wako na a lot of suggestions, a lot of criticism, a lot of huyu mtu ni mlazy. Ungepass. Like you are seeing the bigger picture because unaiona kwa screen. Yeye mahali yako haoni hizo vitu zote. And then kumbuka kopia na pressure ya game. Yeye ndio watu wanakimbiza. Wewe unaona mtu come on. Tumezana za husbands. There are a lot more. So, kwa mabibi. Number 1. You not submitting to your husband is immoral. Nobody forced you to get married. Si lazima uolewe. But you chose to get married. Na kwa marriage kuna some rules. The rules meaning that the husband is the head. Yeye ndio CEO wa hiyo nyumba. So you should submit to him. And submission means be under his authority. Simple. Mimi sijizo vitu zingine zote wanawake wanaenda kutoa wapi. Just be under his authority because it is a marriage, and in a marriage a man is in authority. So you not submitting to your husband is immoral. Number 2. You not being a good mother to your children is immoral. Okay, because remember, wewe ndio the nurturer in the house or in that home. You are the one who is supposed to be nurturing these kids. You're supposed to be taking care of them, making them, protecting them from the brutality of their father. Because men, we are brutal. That's how we are. But then you're supposed to soften those blows. You're supposed to soften those rough edges of your husband. So protect your children. Women who don't protect their kids are immoral. And especially those who do not protect their kids from her husband. That is immoral. Women who put the name of their family, their husband, their kids into disrepute are immoral. You can't be out here, wewe ni mama watoto watatu, wakubwa, and unatembea unazunguka huku kwa umevaa miniskirt, everybody can see your thighs plus, sijui nini, cleavage iko nje, you look like a HOE. That is immoral. I don't care about your body, your choice. I don't care. Like I said, I'm not here to care. You and your daughter cannot be dressing in a similar fashion. Sijui ina make mtu sense. Wewe na daughter yako hamfai kuwa mna dress in the same fashion. Like yeye akivaa hot pant, wewe unavaa hot pant. There should be a difference between the mother and the daughter. It is a very simple concept. Sons and daughters not being in good terms with their parents is immoral. And parents not being in good terms with their children is immoral to me. Because listen, at the end of the day, family is all you got. That's it. That person you hate, that is the person you have. Okay, that's what you have. You can't be the type that when you are in trouble ndo unapigiaga watu masimu. But any other time watu hawakuoni, watu hata utaki kusikia stories za mtu. That when we are in mourning, when we need you to come in and come through for us, you are nowhere. But then when something happens to you, you want all of us to rush and come and help you. That doesn't work like that. Okay, so nataka kumalizia hii live hapa. If there is any question when you are commenting, if you watch this, if you want any topic, I can delve much in. You can comment. Nataka kutoka kwa hii live nianzishe live ingine maybe in the next 20-30 minutes. I take a break, I come back, and maybe I'll do that or maybe not. I don't know, I'm not sure. But let's see.